Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, April 21, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Private sector must play a greater role in Guyana's renewable energy transition, says AMCHAM. Constitutional issues on agenda as President Ali aims to meet opposition leader in 2 weeks. President Ali appeals for Surinamese businesses to stand in solidarity with Guyanese fishermen. Guyana currently experiencing impacts of Saharan dust, and government to rent prefab homes during CPL and use revenues to finance housing for the poor, says President Ali. Now for the news in detail. With the Guyana government investing heavily in cleaner and more reliable energy, the private sector's involvement in this transition was underscored during a roundtable discussion organized today by the American Chamber of Commerce. Rupa Sinarain reports.
AMCHAM President Devendra Kissoon, during an energy roundtable discussion on advancing opportunities in renewable energy hosted by the agency on Thursday, outlined the need to generate a mindset of sustainable renewable practices in energy. Government initiatives such as solar farms and hydropower projects are all important starts. However, he outlined that the private sector also has a part to play in these efforts.
We need to build capacity, not only for construction of renewable energy infrastructure, but its maintenance and sustenance. Implementation is one thing, but we all need to generate the mindset to make sure that this important aspect of our lives becomes a sustainable part of our everyday lives. You would have heard, for example, if you read today's papers, there's an environmental review of the natural gas project. You would have read in the papers Guyana is moving to the use of hydropower in the upcoming years. You would have also noticed that there's an exponential amount of construction for solar and wind farms in Guyana. And these are all very important steps in transitioning our past to our renewable future. However, that in itself are all government-driven ideas. We here in the private sector have a responsibility to oversee, implement, and share our thoughts and views to ensure that we have a properly implemented, sustainable future.
This is the first of a series of roundtable discussions hosted by AMCHAM Guyana. Guyana is one of the world's newest oil-producing nation, but has one of the highest costs of energy within the Caribbean. Heavily reliant on fossil fuel for power generation, it has been recognized that this can pose serious setbacks to the business community and the manufacturing sector.
A green energy mix does not happen overnight. Guyana currently lacks grid tie-in legislation, which would allow for private businesses to sell excess renewable power to the power grid. What's more, the grid itself needs to be sustainable and stable. It requires modernization with redundancies so that if one power line fails, you don't get rolling brownouts or blackouts for large portions of the grid. An updated grid must also be able to handle power fluctuations and adjust for the ebbs and flows of all kinds of power and unexpected disruptions.
Minister within the Public Works Ministry Deodat Indar brought into focus the government's revised low-carbon development strategy, which aligns with this transition.
Temperature level have to go 1.5 degrees max above pre-industrial, and that is a target that the global community has set. And Guyana has now included that target in its low-carbon development strategy. The low-carbon development strategy right now that we have really is our roadmap. It tells us what we will do in many different areas with respect to transport, the green economy, the blue economy. It also says what we will do with energy, how we will transition, I'll get into that just now, how we will transition Guyana into that energy future.
President Dr Irvan Ali is hoping to meet newly appointed opposition leader Aubry Norton within 2 weeks to discuss a number of critical issues such as the constitution of various service commissions. Here's what he had to say.
My intention is to meet with the leader of the opposition within 2 weeks.
What will be on the table essentially?
Well, you know, there are a number of matters, constitutional matters that has to be addressed. So those are the matters that will primarily be on the table.
Meaning the commissions.
The commissions,
and
yes.
The substantive appointment of a Chief Justice Chancellor and...
Well, you know, we have to get the Judicial Service Commission and everything in place. So yes, all the constitutional issues that require consultation with the leader of the opposition will be on the table.
In response, opposition leader Aubry Norton has since expressed that he is hoping for good sense to prevail during his engagement with the president. Moreover, Norton wants discussions to extend beyond constitutional responsibilities. Let's have a look.
Meeting with the president, should they occur, must extend beyond the appointment of commissioners and judges. Meetings must also discuss opposition concerns about good governance. As I understand it, the opposition is to represent the cause of the people of Guyana. And in representing them, there will be constitutional matters and there will be matters that are outside of the realm of the Constitution. But not outside of the realm of the Constitution, not stated in the Constitution as a constitutional issue to be determined between the president and the opposition leader. And I will push for both, because I believe you cannot deal with one and not deal with the other. And it is my sincere hope that good sense will prevail and we attempt to deal with the issues in the society in a holistic way.
As the Guyana government continues to push for local fisherfolk to become licensed by SURINAMESE authorities to enable them to operate along the Quarantine River, President Dr Irvan Ali has issued a call to the business community of that neighboring country to stand in solidarity with the Guyanese fishermen. In August 2021, following a high-level meeting in Guyana between President Ali and Surinamese head of state, President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, the two leaders had issued a joint press statement indicating that the age-old issue of licenses for Guyanese fisherfolk to operate in Surinamese territorial waters would be addressed. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that to date the matter remains unresolved.
These fishermen operate from the Quarantine coast and have to use the Quarantine River to get access to the Atlantic, where they get most of their catch. The Quarantine River is considered Surinamese territory. Currently, the licenses are issued to Surinamese businessmen at $100 per year and rented to the Guyanese fisherfolk at $3,000 annually. According to President Dr Irvan Ali, he spoke with the Surinamese head of state on Wednesday afternoon regarding this matter.
I spoke to President Santokhi sometime this afternoon. I spoke to Minister Ramdin also this afternoon. They said to me that they're going to send some statistics to show how many licenses were issued to Guyanese. Minister Ramdin claimed that high percentage of licenses issued by the Surinamese authority were issued to Guyanese. So I'm waiting for that. And he assured me, President Santokhi assured me, that the remaining issues are being addressed and that we will have a solution soon.
Nevertheless, President Ali reminded of the support enjoyed by Surinamese businesses in Guyana and appealed that this be reciprocated for Guyanese fisherfolk.
We have Surinamese investors from the private sector in insurance, financial services, supplies, construction, even meat, the Rosignol meat center. And we've always supported them. And I expect that these investors too, the private sector from Suriname, who has always expressed strong sentiments, would also add their voice on this issue to ensure that our fisherfolk are not treated differently.
It was only last week, while meeting with fisherfolk, that Vice President Dr Bharat Jagdeo committed that the Guyanese authorities will keep the pressure up on this matter. However, Chairman of the No. 66 Fishermen's Co-op Society, Prameshwar Jainarayan, explained that while they were expecting to get their license for 2022, fisherfolk are now being further pressured. He said the Surinamese are now demanding that they reduce the size of their vessels and also have the vessels remain on the Suriname side of the Quarantine River.
2 weeks ago, the licensing holders in Suriname, they call us and say we have to take the boats and park it in Suriname. Now, It's not practical for us to park our boats in Sahara. For one, we own the boat. How we can carry our boats to park in another country? Who will watch it over? Who will take care of it? When our boats are parked at 66, we have 24-hour security. We have cameras. We have workers who are paid to secure these boats, make sure they tie properly and tie securely.
About 150 boats operate from the number 66 Fishermen's Co-op Society, thus providing direct employment for about 800 fishermen. Additionally, some 200 persons are employed in providing services which include transportation, fish vending, and repairs to machinery and equipment. The industry is the third to rice and sugar in the region. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Central Quarantine Chamber of Commerce has lauded President Dr Irvan Ali and his ministerial outreach to Region 6, wherein the head of state and a large delegation of his cabinet fanned out across the region to connect with the people. The business organization has welcomed the announcements made by President Ali and his team and has called on residents to play their part in ensuring the planned development reaches all corners of the region. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us again with this report.
There is nothing better than talking directly to the people and getting a feel of what's happening on the ground. We noted a lot of comments were made, people asked questions, and I think one of the most important things people are concerned about were roads. And I think the government will be moving, from my information, to be putting some additional resources on roads in Region 6, roads in general.
That was President of the Central Quarantine Chamber of Commerce, Mohammed Rafiq, during a recent media engagement following President Dr Irvan Ali's outreach to Region 6. Rafiq said the chamber will work to ensure that government gets its money's worth for all road projects. He said the beneficiaries should also be able to monitor the work.
We are calling on all contractors that are executing projects for the government. We are calling on contractors and those that are responsible for supervising them to ensure that the work is done according to the specification. And we'd like the people in the community to know where these roads are going, and they should pay very close attention to what's happening here. But the contractors, we encourage all the contractors to deliver as per the specification, and we want to make sure that these roads do not break up after a year or so.
In the region, 2 farm-to-market roads are being constructed. One should see the Quarantine Highway being linked with the Kanji River. There is also an upgrade to the east bank of Berbice Main Access Road, which will assist farmers. And soon, the second phase of the Mulson Creek El Dorado Road project is expected to commence. That phase will link Mulson Creek and, by extension, the Quarantine Highway to the site where the Quarantine River Bridge will be built. It will also open up access to farmlands which are currently only accessible by a river. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
We now tell you that 10 new COVID-19 cases have been recorded, taking the total positives detected to date to 63,399. No persons are in the ICU, but 7 are in institutional isolation, while 83 are isolating at home. There are 9 persons in institutional quarantine, 62,081 recovered cases, and 1,228 COVID-related deaths. Coming up, government's ICT strategy will see primary, secondary schools doing coding, software development, and more opportunities should be provided to women in agriculture, says CARICOM rep. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands, and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Wash bay operators, are you looking for that unique service to elevate your business? Well, come on down to your #1 industrial store, Sylvie's, and invest in an undercarriage pressure washer tool. That's right, impress your customers by now washing under their vehicles easy and efficiently with an undercarriage tool. We have in stock different types that offer a wider range of services and can increase your revenue without having to invest in expensive ramps. Your customers are going to leave satisfied. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets location, we can deliver in and around Georgetown. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvie's Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. Plumes of Sahara dust are blown from the African continent and traveling westward across the Atlantic Ocean, regularly reaching and often settling over the Americas. In this Amar Persad report, we learned that Guyana is currently experiencing the impacts of Saharan dust, which can irritate a person's airways and cause respiratory issues. Here's more.
In February 2021, the local Hydromet office issued a statement indicating that the Caribbean, including Guyana, was being affected by the Sahara dust. In January and February of this year, Guyana was once again affected. During an exclusive interview with the Evening News on Wednesday, Chief Hydrometeorological Officer Dr. Garvin Cummings revealed that the country is now again facing some impacts of the dust.
So we have had several instances in recent months of the Saharan area impacting local weather, and thereby reducing the amount of rainfall. It depends on the season. Right now we are seeing some of the impacts, right now actually, of the Saharan area on local weather. This does not mean that it will necessarily put a threat to the May-June rains. But yeah, you will see the Saharan area appearing from time to time.
The Sahara dust, or the Saharan air layer, is a dust from the Sahara Desert traveling across the Atlantic, impacting as far as North America, then moving further down south to Guyana and the Caribbean.
So what the Saharan air layer basically does is it absorbs all of the moisture in the atmosphere, and therefore reduces the potential for cloud development, which really is a source of rainfall. So if, as a result of it inhibiting cloud development, it means that rainfall amounts would be restricted. Right, so it is dust. It is equivalent, I suppose, to the same impact that you'll find from pollen, or it can cause respiratory discomfort. So I think that perhaps is the greatest extent of it for persons who suffer with allergies of this sort. You can expect some discomfort.
Dr. Cummings explained that Guyana has been experiencing this weather condition for the past 10 years. However, the Hydromet Office and other relevant authorities are now becoming more knowledgeable of its impacts on local weather and people. The Environmental Protection Agency in late 2021 had acquired 5 air quality sensors. Earlier this year, one of the said sensors was set up at the EPA's Ganji Street, Sophia, Georgetown office and was revealed to be able to detect the Sahara dust. In fact, Dr. Cummings said the Hydromet office and the EPA have a strong and growing relationship which involves sharing of necessary information, including on the Sahara dust.
So the EPA and Hydromet has we have a working relationship because of our interests, our common interests in the environment and the impacts of the environment. So there's an ongoing working relationship, like I said, not only in the area of the Saharan air layer or dust or air quality monitoring, but as well as in water resources management and monitoring as well. So there's scope there for sharing of data, exchanging of ideas, transfer of knowledge. So some of the data that the EPA is collecting can be utilized by Hydromet for its purposes and vice versa. So I think we have a strong and growing working relationship with the EPA.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The government of Guyana is looking at an innovative model to uplift Guyanese out of poverty by capitalizing on the extensive revenues that will be earned during the upcoming Hero Caribbean Premier League tournament later this year. Find out more in this Vanu Manikchand report.
This was announced by President Dr Irvan Ali on Wednesday evening at the launch of the International Building Expo 2022, which is slated from July 22nd to 24th at the Guyana National Stadium. According to the head of state, the expo is amongst a series of international events that Guyana will be hosting this year that will bring heavy traffic into the country, including the preliminary matches during CPL and for the first time in the decade-long tournament, the semi-finals and final. President Ali disclosed that since this announcement was made less than a month ago, there has been a tremendous and overwhelming response not only in Guyana but abroad, and already many hotel rooms have already been booked up during that period. As a result, the Ali-led administration has come up with an innovative model to not only expand the country's accommodation capacity, but uplift its most vulnerable and poverty-stricken people.
We're looking at a way in which we can marry cricket with uplifting people out of poverty. So we are setting aside land to build 300 prefab homes. Now, the prefab homes will be used during cricket to host people, to rent. And the revenue from that rental will go as down payment to the banks for the poorest persons.
Expressing his confidence that government will be able to get this done, Ali posited that this 10 to 15% down payment that will be made to the banks with monies earned from the rental of these prefab homes will go a long way to benefit those who will qualify for the program in becoming homeowners.
The type of houses we're talking about is maybe $15,000 to $20,000 per month. That is the type of innovation we're talking about, and we had discussion on moving forward. So these are the things that will really change the face of the country.
Another initiative government is undertaking is establishing a bread and breakfast type of accommodation to offset the impending traffic and provide additional accommodation as well as meals during the CPL tournament that will run from August to September. Nevertheless, with Guyana currently undergoing a construction boom, several projects are already underway for the construction of some internationally branded hotels here, while others are in the pipeline. According to President Ali, who started this expo while he was the housing minister in a previous PPP administration, the upcoming International Building Expo will be the best platform to bring together contractors, potential investors, and material suppliers in one space to explore similar and other opportunities to further develop the country. Interested persons and companies are urged to register early for the International Building Expo. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
President Dr Irvan Ali on Wednesday disclosed that his government's ICT strategy and master plan will see the integration of the primary and secondary school system, and this would require the older generation having to come up to speed. Shane Marks tells us more.
The head of state was at the time addressing the first meeting of Guyana's ICT Master Plan 2030 Discovery kick-off at the Outer Chang Conference Center on Wednesday. It noted that this ICT master plan would ensure that all sectors and stakeholders enhance their efficiency and productivity in order to move forward in a cohesive and productive manner.
We are bringing the entire ICT platform on one common agenda, where all the stakeholders will be part of a singular platform to enhance efficiency, to improve productivity. So, from security to education, all of it will be on an ICT platform that is second to none.
On this note, President Ali disclosed that incorporating this ICT agenda into the school system is paramount for this government.
For us, the ICT strategy starts from the school. So in the school system, we're working on a plan in which our primary school children would have basic training in coding, for example. Our secondary school children would have training in software development. So ICT will be integrated in the life cycle of the new generation of children coming up.
As such, the head of state posited that those who are not part of that generation will have to come up to speed with the infrastructure that will be in place to govern the way in which things are operated in Guyana.
But the new generation that will come up will be coming up in this ICT framework in which their knowledge and their skill set will be far different from what we were accustomed to, because they will be trained to operate and work in a new environment, in a new Guyana, in which ICT will play a catalytical part in transforming the country.
According to the president, it is important for the entire government machinery to understand the master plan and what the government is hoping to achieve, as well as understand their responsibility in the path to the country's ICT transformation. Shane Marks, The Evening News.
As the Caribbean pushes to slash its food import bill by 25% by 2025, the Women and Gender Equality Commission in Guyana hosted a panel discussion that focused on the need for more women's involvement in the drive towards regional food security. In fact, a CARICOM Community Secretariat expert believes more opportunities should be provided to women if the region wishes to achieve food security. Here is Shane Marks again with the details.
Agriculture and Agro-Industrial Development Program Manager at the CARICOM Secretariat, Sean Ba, participated in a panel discussion hosted on Wednesday by the Women and Gender Equality Commission. Is gender equality important to achieving food security? Pointed out that women are disadvantaged in the Caribbean region, specifically in terms of achieving food security.
Women are disadvantaged due to the fact they do not have access to some opportunities or resources as men, owing to stereotype issues based on gender. And these are manifested in the areas of owning of assets or certain resources such as land, energy, technology, loans, pesticides, fertilizers, and others. Women have more limited access to training, information, public services, and social protection in some of the areas within the CARICOM region.
Ba also noted that there are women who play major roles in the issue of food security, but are not given the level of recognition as their male counterparts.
If we are to agree that women play a critical role and substance in their communities, we also have to agree that sometimes it goes not acknowledged at the level that it's supposed to be. Certainly, when we speak about food and nutrition security, unfortunately, what comes out in the studies and in the discussions has to do with just domestic related matters. But based on research that has been done, women play a far greater role in some of these areas more than men.
In this regard, Ba recommended that there should be more opportunities for women in the agriculture sector.
Women will play a greater role in this. And these are my recommendations in order to do that. One, we have to move towards empowering women. And how do we do that? We have to have a participatory spaces that allow the equal participation of women in identifying specific actions and to promote their role in agriculture. Two, improving improving access to productive activities for women.
Shane Marks, The Evening News.
The Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Fire Service are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of Nicola Jacobs, who reportedly set her house and self on fire on Wednesday. The 51-year-old mother of 9 perished when the wooden structure, located at Bachelor's Adventure, East Coast Demerara, went up in flames at around 12:30 hours. This newscast was told that the woman was having relationship issues prior to the ordeal. A family member who spoke with the Evening News explained that no one really knows what transpired. It is suspected that the woman had secured herself in the house before setting it ablaze. A statement from the Guyana Police Force revealed that the woman had last been seen alive at around 11 hours on Wednesday. And now for a look at the bird reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, April 22nd at 22 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, Suburbies River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, April 22nd at 8 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Legendary Sir Andy Roberts and Roland Butcher commenced Burby's visit and second loss for under-16 boys in Europe. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Doots engines. Doots engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Doots engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.